Hello, this is the last in my series of 10 tips and tricks for Animal Crossing New Horizon. If you haven't seen the other 3 in the series, make sure you check those out too. I would say there's something in here for everyone, whether you're a beginner, expert, or something in between. Let's get started. First off, have you noticed that when you're wearing a kimono and you put on a backpack or start carrying a purse, the sleeves of your kimono go up and your kimono is tied in the traditional style in order to allow you to wear your backpack or purse. It's a really awesome detail, and make sure you notice it next time. Next off, it can be really impossible to see behind things like trees or houses, buildings, but the trick for it is to open up your inventory, and with your inventory open, you can get a glimpse of what is behind that item, because with your inventory open, that item is temporarily invisible. So if you're having trouble finding a fossil or seeing what's behind a tree or a building, open up your inventory and you can see. I kind of can't believe that I've made it to the 4th video and I'm finally talking about money bell trees, but the time has come. So when you find a shining spot in the ground, you can dig it up and get 1,000 bells, which is pretty cool. But that's only the beginning of it. While that hole is still open, you can bury up to 10,000 bells in that hole, and a sprout will pop up, and in the time it takes for a new tree to grow, that 10,000 bells you buried in that hole will become 30,000 bells, because the tree will have 3 10,000 bells bags on it. So this is a really great return on your investment, I guess. And you can do this with every single shining spot and get a money bell tree from it. Now, once you've harvested those 3 money bell bags, they don't grow back. So there's no point having that tree still there. I chop them down and I get the wood. Otherwise, your island gets completely covered with trees. So no need to keep it. And the other thing there's no need to do is bury anything more than 10,000 bells. People will sometimes be sneaky, and I've seen people give the advice, bury 99,000 bells. No, don't bury 99,000 bells. You're still going to get 30,000 bells back from that tree. But bury 10,000 bells and get 30,000 bells. Next up, and the video is just a placeholder, a cute video, because I didn't have a video for this one. But when you have been wishing on stars the night before, especially if it was a night where you wished on a ton of stars, go around your beach multiple times, and I mean multiple times, and gather stars, because I've gotten a large star on my 5th or 6th path around the beach, which I otherwise would have missed. Number 1, make absolutely sure if it's a night you're wishing on stars that you play the next day and you gather those stars. And number 2, make sure that you're going around your beach multiple times in order to get all those stars, so you don't miss those large stars, which are rare. When villagers first come to your island, brand new villagers, they're not going to have the interaction where you can give them a gift, which really raises their friendship level. You can talk to them, and that's going to raise their friendship level a little bit, but they're not going to be able to get gifts from you. And there are a couple of things you can do to raise their friendship level high enough for them to be able to start getting gifts from you, which then will raise their friendship level with you quite a bit more each time you give them a gift. If you share your island with another player, both of you have to greet that villager, and that's really going to help raise their friendship level up. Also, if you're lucky enough in those first few days for them to have a special interaction with you, like they want you to do something for them or they want to give you something, definitely do those special interactions, because those are going to help raise your friendship level up enough where you can start giving them gifts and raise it even higher. For my next tip, I am kind of introverted when it comes to playing video games. I've never really played video games with other people in our separate houses, and Animal Crossing New Horizon has been a different experience for me, because during lockdown, a couple friends and I played Animal Crossing New Horizons together. We would message each other about it, and we would also visit each other's islands, and I highly, highly recommend it. There's a lot that is added to the game when you play with other people. One example of that is we did something called pick and drops, where we would all gather on one of our islands with the coolest and rarest and most awesome items that we had gotten since our last pick and drop in our inventory, and we would each drop those in a certain spot, and then you can go around to the other people's items, pick them up, and then drop them back down, and they are added into your catalog, where you can then buy them if you want to buy them, or if you're a completionist and you're trying to get a complete catalog, just adding it to the catalog is enough, and you have the option to buy it in the future. Especially because stores carry only a certain set of colors, and your special Nook items are in only certain colors for your island. For example, the lighthouse and the phone booth is going to be different based on what island type you have. I was lucky enough to have a blue phone booth, and if you watch Doctor Who, you're going to think TARDIS right away, and my friends thought that was super awesome, so I made sure to bring that to the pick and drop, and that is the only way that they would be able to add that to their catalog and buy that. Another example is that your native fruit, for example, mine is peaches, are going to sell for a whole lot more on an island where that is not the native fruit. So if I go to my friend's island loaded with peaches, and her native fruit is cherries, I get 500 a piece for those peaches instead of 100 a piece, and you can make an absolute ton of money, which is so helpful, especially in the beginning of the game when you're trying to pay off your loans and build your bridges and your stairs and all of those things. A friend also had her birthday party inside Animal Crossing during lockdown, and had different activities that we all came over and played. The image here is of musical chairs, where she dug up a stool each time and would play a musical instrument and then stop the musical instrument. And there were prizes. She also buried different prizes and then set a timer, and then we could run around and try and dig up all the prizes. And you can just be so creative, and it was so fun. One of my very favorite lockdown memories. Another example is that if you get the announcement from Isabel, or a villager tells you that you're going to have a whole bunch of stars, you can let people know, and they can come over and wish on stars with you, and they will have stars washing up on their beach the next day, as well as you. It doesn't affect how many stars you get at all. And you can all benefit from one of your islands having a lot of shooting stars. Some tips on collecting creatures, and the first one is related to the previous thing I was talking about, visiting other people's islands or having other people visit your islands. Two things are really going to affect the quality and rarity of the fish you catch, and also the number of fish you catch. One is rain. You're going to have a lot better fishing on a day where it's raining on your island. And in fact, the coelacanth can only be caught when it's raining. So don't even try to catch the coelacanth when it's not raining. You're not going to. The other thing that really affects the quality and rarity of fish you catch is if there are other people on your island. Another really happy lockdown memory is a friend of a friend lives in Australia and invited people onto her island. It was raining. She gave out the code and people came and visited and fished. And because it was Australia is the other hemisphere from us, it was completely different fish than we'd caught before. It was winter and we were catching sharks and things. And so many people caught coelacanths. So the two things that affect the rarity of the fish you catch are, is it raining and how many people are on your island. You get a day where it's raining and you have a bunch of people on your island and you're going to catch some amazing fish. The other creatures that are difficult to catch, very particular, are the ant and the fly. And you will only catch them when there is garbage for them to be attracted to. And sadly, turnips are what both the fly and the ant love. The other thing they love is the trash you can pull up when you're fishing. The boots, tires, and cans. Leave a turnip or that garbage outside and then look for the flies flying around it, or there will be a trail of ants, and that is how you can catch them and add them to your catalog. Next up, make sure you're enjoying the museum as much as possible. There are some hidden kind of Easter egg, really cool spots in it. For example, when you stand in your spot in the evolution diagram there, the light will come on as you pose. There's spots where the view will zoom in so you can get a better view. One spot is in the art gallery, those white tiles in the center of the floor, and also the blue circle in amongst the fossils, but I won't give away what happens there because it's actually pretty eerie and pretty cool. So check those out. For my last two tips, I'm going to be talking about an app and also a website that I have found super, super helpful. The first is an app, ACNH Life, and it is absolutely jammed packed with so much useful things. And you can also personalize it and add in your personal villagers in order to see their compatibilities and add which items you have or you want in different colors. It also will let you calculate the price of turnips and know what's collectible, and has a really helpful chart for flower combinations. Gold roses are really difficult to get. I will give you one piece of advice. You have to be certain which black roses you're crossing together, and it also really helps to have your friends come onto your island and water those black roses. You have a much higher chance of getting a gold rose from those black roses. And good luck, because getting gold roses is a lengthy process and it's quite complex. Not everything in Animal Crossing is going to be super easy, and getting gold roses is one of the things that's quite difficult. Side note, but I would say also getting the highest rating on your house is also something that's very difficult. Yeah. Good luck with that too. I still haven't done it. But yeah, there's so much information in this app, and it is super, super, super handy. It combines all those websites you probably search to find information on Animal Crossing into one handy app where you can actually personalize it and put in your information and just really get full advantage of it. The website that I find really useful is called Meadownook Alpha, and the web address is wuffs.org. And what it is each island has a weather seed, and there are tons of weather seeds. And that weather seed decides what is happening on your island at that time. Is it windy? Is it rainy? Are you going to have a rainbow? Are you going to have a lot of stars? What time are those falling stars? And this website helps you find out what your weather seed is. And then once you have found out what your weather seed is, you can go to this website and find out what your weather is going to be for that day and down to the minute when your stars are going to be falling. It's so incredibly handy and so amazing that someone figured this out and was able to do this. It can be tricky for it to find your weather seed. You could think, I found it, I've got it, and you were a little bit off with putting in the information and you're on a weather seed that isn't quite yours. I would say it's easiest to do it on a night when there's a lot of shooting stars and just input the time for each of those shooting stars, and it'll narrow down each time you submit. Your weather seed could be one of 50, your weather seed could be one of 30, your weather seed could be one of 5, and then finally it'll tell you what your weather seed is. And make sure you record that, and then you'll know your weather seed and be able to get your weather from that point on. It's time for my bonus tip for this video, which is to make sure that you are reading the notices that you get from Happy Home Academy every single week, not just your score. Make sure you're reading the advice that they give you, because they will give you some ideas on how to get the best feng shui and how to get the highest rated house. For example, you'll get a letter that'll say, make sure all the items in a room are the same color, or this is the room in your house that is the lowest rated, and you know how to make adjustments based on the advice given in those letters in order to improve your feng shui score. And I will say good luck again because feng shui is very, very hard. It doesn't really reward creativity. I would say it's probably my least favorite thing in the game. I have a friend who made her house into a castle, and it was absolutely beautiful, but she said, don't ask me what my feng shui score is because it's never been lower. So, yeah, good luck with feng shui. I'm still not there yet. And this is the end of the video. Give it a like if you liked it. Leave me a comment. Do you have any tips and tricks that I didn't mention? I would love to have a conversation in the comments about even more ideas. Make sure you check out my other Animal Crossing videos in this series, And I also have a video where my parents rate Animal Crossing characters, which is hilarious. So give that a check too. Subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Bye.
No.